Your Majesties, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for always returning. Trust you and yourself well, and you loving yourself and others like always. We'll get straight into today's discussion, which is that the oldest known and stone tablet of the Ten Commandments is to be auctioned. And why did I decide to bring this to your notice? There is a reason why, Your Majesties. But before then, I want us to get into the information and see what they are saying here. I'm going to leave it on the screen as well so we read through. An ancient marble tablet inscribed with an ancient Hebrew version of the biblical Ten Commandments is said to be auctioned by Sotheby's in New York in December 18. The auction house announced that the tablet will be exhibited to the public starting December 5th. December 5. Sotheby's presented the tablet on Tuesday in a statement as the oldest known version of the Ten Commandments made in stone. The tablet dates from the Byzantine era and is approximately 1,500 years old. So this tablet is 1,500 years old, and it is the oldest known stone tablet of the Ten Commandments. The oldest known stone tablet of the Ten Commandments is 1,500 years old. Weighing, we're going to come to that, okay? So just mark that. Weighing 52 kilograms and standing about 60 centimeters high. The stone bears 20 lines of text engraved in Paleo-Hebrew, a script that went out of common use many centuries ago. The 20 lines of text closely follow the biblical verses familiar to both Christian and Jewish tradition. Why is it familiar? It's familiar because they have a lot in common. The whole religion have something in common. Yeah, that's why it is familiar. The tablet is estimated to sell for between $1 and $2 million. $1 and $2 million US. This remarkable tablet is not only a historical artifact of enormous importance, but a tangible link to the beliefs that helped shape Western civilization, said Sotheby's global director of books and manuscripts, according to Los Andes. The director added, encouraging this shared piece of cultural heritage is traveling through millennia and connecting with cultures and beliefs told through one of humanity's oldest and most enduring moral code, which is the Ten Commandments. Now, the fact that we have unanimously agreed that the Ten Commandments is one of humanity's oldest and most enduring moral code, that is another point which we will talk about. Now, the oldest known stone tablet of the Ten Commandments is just 1,500 years. 1,500 years. Even at that, is still not as old as the 42 laws of Ma'at. Like I said, it has been unanimously agreed that the Ten Commandments is one of humanity's oldest and most enduring moral code, which existed in Kemet, or Your Majesty, it existed in Kemet before all this religion came and took fractions from it, took stories, created some of them. Your Majesty, they built, like I keep telling you in previous videos, that the world built on what had already existed in Kemet. And the work of Kemet is a work of our ancient ancestors. We have their DNA because we are from their line in the continent of Africa, Your Majesties. Now, this group of people took their time, pick out some of them, and for them to make this story so, true, and then make you believe that it's divine, they tell you that like, God appeared and carved the Ten Commandments on the stone tablet and gave it to Moses.
The rabbi forget, he says that Abraham, he points to Judaism coming from Abraham. Then I said that the rabbi obviously have not read the Ten Commandments and their source. Moses is not until about 1346 before the Christian era, 49 years after the death of Amenhotep IV, otherwise known as Akhenaten. Every one of those 12 so-called commandments, and that Moses is supposed to have gotten at Mount Sinai. By the way, Mount Sinai is still in Egypt, in Africa, hasn't gone any place. Now, those 10 commandments weren't gotten by Moses. Because I'm Jewish don't mean that I have to follow the mythology. When you go in any of the major tombs in Egypt, you find those 10 commandments plus 32 more, otherwise referred to as the negative confession. Am I to believe that Moses was born in Mizraim, Egypt, about 1346 before the Christian era, went to school there, become a priest, at age 85 or around there, decided that somebody mistreated his people, and that in every school in Egypt, you had to recite the negative confession, 42 laws, of which they said, I have not killed man or woman, I have not stolen this, I have not, every one of the so-called 10 commandments is already stated that Moses didn't see it. I would like the rabbi to tell me, where does it show that Abraham taught any of this? I would like the rabbi to tell me, before circumcision in Egypt, where did the Jews have circumcision? They said that Abraham's circumcision is part of what made him Jewish. Then the rabbi must tell me, the worship of the golden calf, which they call the golden calf, isn't that the worship of Hathor, the goddess Hathor? We could go on down.
Well, voiced by Rabbi Seltzer is that you suggested that there is a political overtone in the ritual bar mitzvah, and he objects to this. Can you substantiate your statement?
Gil, if you went to any bar mitzvah, there's a lecture after the young man and before the young man. There's a lecture of the young man's commitment. It is a lecture in my commitment. Every child, if the rabbi is sitting here and tell me that the rabbi doesn't get up and give a lecture about the bar mitzvah, and the youngster doesn't pick out a section of the Torah to read, and that the youngster doesn't get up there and make a commitment to the Jewish community, then I don't know what form of Judaism. I don't know if he's Reform, Reconstructionist, Conservative, or Orthodox, or whatever else there may be. But it will be rare to me not to go to a bar mitzvah and not hear the rabbi mentioning the commitment to the Jewish people and to Israel.
If the oldest stone tablet is 1,500 years, and the 42 laws of Ma'at was existing thousands of years before this one, so which one is the absolute truth that we are talking about? Because sometimes when we bring out this comparison to you, bring out this truth to you, you still look for excuses. And that's always the problem we have as religious people. We always look for excuses to suit the beliefs that we have. We always look for reasons why the belief that we have is the absolute truth. We always look for reasons why it should be as it is. If this is a sacred object, why should it be auctioned? Because these people put these things together, they are making a whole lot of money from these things. When we tell you that Israel survived in the tourism, their main source of income is tourism and other things that attract people. You go to visit a site, you pay some thousands. You go to visit a place, you pay some thousands. They tell you this is where the Jesus was seated. This was the chair he sat down when he was small. You paid another 1,000. You eat. This is how this very group of people that were implanted there in 1948, this is how they make their money. They make their money from the money that you give to them. And so it's time for them to auction this. Yeah, so they are going to sell this between 1 and 2 million US dollars. 1 and 2 million US dollars. Now we say, okay, it's a holy object. It has to be sold expensively because God is expensive. But this is business these people are doing. This is business. It is the power you gave to those things that make those things so useful and important. And they need you to keep giving power to those things they created. They need you to keep giving power to their ideas so that you can sell. This is it. This is the market. I keep telling you, this is how these people do their business. There's a lot of confusion in religion that you don't just know anymore, and we just pray that things becomes clear to our eyes and we understand the real reason behind the creation of religion, and the fact that there's nothing new. There is nothing new, Your Majesties, that the whole of religion has, that has not existed in the way of life of our people, because they developed whatever they have today on the way of life of our people. And when it comes to religion, what we need to be smart about, we do not want to be smart about it. When it comes to religion, we become so relaxed. When it comes to religion, you see somebody very intelligent and smart, but when it comes to religion, you begin to see the stupidity. I'm sorry, I might be very harsh, but this is what we see by day. Because they tell you, do not study, don't go overboard, don't take anything else outside, don't. You are limited. It's like you are thrown into a cage. You are thrown into a cage and you are limited. You are in that cage. There's no way for you to go out because there are restrictions everywhere around you. Now, how do you know whether the cage you are in is all the informations that are in there that are the truth? When there are whole lots outside, you are within that cage and they tell you to remain inside that cage. Because when you leave that cage, that you are going to die and then you are going to go to hell. So you limit your powers. This is on your own. No, you do it by your own. No, of course, there was a force. Okay? A lot of us grew up in religion, a lot of us grew up in these things, but there is a time in your life where you begin to question. And when that time comes, they still conscientize you and tell you that thing is the devil that is inside of you. It's the devil that is telling you that you should think twice. Don't think twice about anything that concerns the religion. And then you begin to go again like sheep. Without thinking, without calculating, without doing anything. And it's unfortunate the kind of world that we live in. Leave your thoughts and opinion there at the section, and I'm going to see you in my next one. Until then, love yourself, love others, stay safe, stay positive, always. Your Majesties. Bye for now.